Hey everyone, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Just an update here in the closet of funk, I guess is what I'm calling it. I don't know. Anyway, it's music equipment, fermenters, some guitar cases. Anyway, some updates of what's going on in here. These are all different sours, and we got a little, forget to keep track, but I think that one over there that I'm pointing at right now is a blonde. That I haven't done anything with. It's got a nice pellicle. It's been going a while. I need to check on when I actually brewed that. I think that was a like a wit beer I did and split off a batch. This is from the project that I'll get to more on in a bit. But this is a blend of both my fermenters from that collaboration project. It is now resting on 2 ounces of plumwood and 2 ounces of a blend of cherry, orange, and applewood. So I'm looking forward to that. That beer never formed a pellicle. But 5 gallons of that, or I should say, it was 20 gallons total. It was brewed at one batch at my house, the other at my friend Brian Trout's. And so we bottled up 10 gallons of that already, and then both the remaining amount of beer, that's more like 6 gallons, is resting on different woods. And then over here's the latest project. I did a 10-gallon batch and split it into these 2 fermenters. Fermentation has the primary fermentation's kind of winding down on these. You can still see some bubbles kind of popping up. But the major airlock activity is kind of over with. Although that one's a little more active, the one on the left, than that one. Then I have a couple of these 1-gallon jugs. They've been going a while. Some pretty gnarly pellicle on one of them. That one's kind of light. That one's hard to see. But and then there's this guy. This pellicle kind of came and it's kind of gone. This is my Belgian Pale Ale that I brewed up probably mid last year, somewhere around there, maybe towards the late summer. And this has been soaking on French oak spiral that I've been soaking in Ballast Point's Old Grove gin, because I'm a big fan of barrel-aged gin sour ale. So that's this experiment here. And then over here is my peach sour that now just got another heavy dosing of 5 pounds of fruit. Although I guess I can't technically call it peach sour because some of the fruit I put in there were nectarines. But most of it's the Masumato Farms, really high, super high quality, organic grown peaches from up in near Fresno, California. And so this thing just started re-fermenting, and it's been an issue with the fruit kind of coming up towards here and not allowing the CO2 to escape, and that pushed some of the beer into my airlock, unfortunately. So hopefully this doesn't go too much more. And of course I gotta change that towel out. It's kind of soaked in beer, but it smells really good. I had to make room for the fruit in the beer, or I had to pull out beer to make room for the fruit, I should say. So this beer's tasting really good. Kind of reminds me of Cascade, one of their sours, but with peaches. They don't do a peach sour or Cascade, but kind of like Cascade's apricot sour, but instead with peaches. And I also put a partial bit of a French oak spiral they've been soaking in gin, because I think it needed a little more complexity, a little more wood tannin in there. A little bit of that gin character should work nicely with the peaches. So this will get bottled up in 3 to 4 months at this point. Although I didn't expect this kind of aggressive re-fermentation, but I've never really played around with this much fruit before. So yeah, I'm guessing 3 to 4 months that'll be ready to bottle up. So that's kind of the funky beer update. So over here I have, I'm not going to put the light on this too long. This was my latest IPA. It's getting dry hopped. So I just throw the dry hops, all the pellets, just right in, and give this kind of a swirl. So I'm doing 2 4-ounce dry hoppings. So that's the first of the dry hoppings are in this, and then a couple days here I'll put the other 4 ounces in there and get it kegged up real soon. It's tasting really good so far. It's Mosaic, Centennial, Citra, and Belma hops in it. So I brewed a very, very similar hop bill to this before. It turned out really well, so looking forward to it. So the barrels finally got filled. On the left is the 8-gallon bourbon barrel from Woodinville Whiskey. That's full of my English barley wine, and then on the right is my Virgin American oak barrel that was, I think, medium char to it. This is the third beer in the barrel, second beer in the bourbon barrel. So this is a Belgian quad that I previously had in the barrel, and it's tasting pretty good. It needs more time in there. There's not a whole lot of oak character. I'm thinking about maybe just dumping in a touch of bourbon too, just to kind of give it some more character. Because I think this is definitely winding down in terms of getting a really good oak character in a short amount of time. So we'll see. It's like 2.5 months in, and I tried it about 2 months in, and still wasn't getting a whole lot of oak character. So a little slower than it has been in the past. But I don't know. I'm just gonna keep tasting it, and I don't know, maybe at some point it'll seem overly oaked, but I love my oaked or barrel-aged quads. So that's in that barrel. Okay, and lastly we have a brown porter. I'm going to very soon keg off probably a couple gallons of this batch that will get bottled up for competition. Maybe only a gallon, I don't know. But most of this batch is going to be put onto coconut and macadamia nuts, so it's gonna be a cocoa mac brown porter. So I'm hoping it fermented down a bit more because it was a little high gravity last time I checked it a week in. So it's tasting good. It's really nutty, really chocolatey. Used a lot of brown malt, a lot of chocolate malt, so kind of got a good result with that. So I think it's gonna go really well with the macadamia nuts and the coconut. And heck, I don't need. I was debating about throwing cocoa nibs in there too to kind of play up the chocolate, but it's so chocolatey, and I don't want to use too many adjuncts in it. So I think I'm just going to stick with those two, and I think it'll be a nice sessionable beer. So that's kind of what's going on with the brewing projects. I've been brewing January every weekend until this past weekend, and I think the yeast from this beer, WLP 13 London Ale, I'll take and wash and probably make a big starter and rebrew my barley wine that's in the bourbon barrel, just so I can have an unbarrel aged beer for the future. Because I really like English barley wines. I mean, they're definitely prefer them over the American style, and so might rebrew that, just do a smaller batch instead of the 8 gallons needed for the bourbon barrel with this yeast. Unless I talk myself into brewing like an ESB, because I've never tried I don't think I've ever tried an ESB before. So one of those two I'll probably brew up this coming weekend. So that's the update for this week. Hope you guys had a good month of brewing. It's getting ready for competition season here in San Diego with America's Finest City Homebrew Competition, and first round for the National Homebrewers competition as well. So, all right, everyone. Until next time. Cheers.